Let me take you back in time to late 2006/early 2007, a time when dinosaurs like the Panty Draco and the Erectopus still run the earth, and adverts in Britain were French. During this time, it seemed like every child, teenager, parent, and grandparent were asking their parents for the brand new Nintendo coming out. Hey, speaking of French adverts, oh wee, it was the Nintendo Wii. I'm sure you don't need me to tell you that with a name like that, this console was the front butt of so many toilet humor based jokes. Maybe the people up at Nintendo HQ asked their children for some name ideas. Maybe it was actually just named after the noise it made when you pushed it down the slide. The Wii promised an innovative new way to play. What you've got to understand is, for us back in 2006, the Wii felt like the first step into VR. Yes, okay, I see you, I see you. I know you came out before the Wii. Sit back down. The Wii made us feel like we were one step closer to VR, where we could be put into these beautiful or frightening worlds ourselves. Fucking hell, man. No, I want something even more frightening. Oh my god, no, what is this place? Oh, it's okay. London isn't real. That's not to say VR hasn't existed since the 60s, it's just to say that it sucked ass until around 2010, so even the Wii, without being actual VR, did a better job than this thing of immersing you into its world using motion controls. Well, I guess we thought we were headed into that direction when we got told the Wii would perfectly track our movements with a controller for a realistic experience. The realistic experience being... Go on, Ben. Take a guess. Is this a real tennis match or not? If you guess right, you win a date with our hottest bachelor, single man. Reveal yourself. What up, bitches? It's me, a fucking Mario! Whoa. You've revealed way too much about yourself, Mario. Unreveal yourself. Now, if you got the Wii yourself, I imagine you got it with Wii Sports, right? This meant that your first experience with the Wii would be booting it up, creating two Miis, one where you tried to make it resemble yourself at least a little bit, and another that would just be like a funny, haha, comic relief side character. Haha, look at him, he is definitely gross looking and an ugly idiot who should be dunked upside down into a vat of coffee beans. I'm only saying that because he stole my beautiful girlfriend away from me. I'll never forget you, meal. This was a brilliant feature. Your friends and family would create themselves, which really made your competitive games feel even more like a competition, because your Wii is representing you. So back to the first Wii experience, now your Miis are created, and we've jumped into Wii Sports, and games like this, in my opinion, are where the Wii shined the most. Those light-hearted, party, co-op heavy type games. In Wii Sports there's tennis, bowling, golf, boxing, tennis and bowling. And of course the unforgettable baseball, which I just realised I forgot to put in. Wii Play was also a great introductionary game, and whilst the motion controllers were accurate enough, it became apparent pretty quickly that there weren't actually going to be many, if any, games where the character actually mimics your movements. What the hell, Nintendo? Nintendo, don't ever lie to us again! I forgive you though, because it was still a total blast! It seemed every game that I played from then on just reinforced the idea that you could flail your arm around and it would have the exact same effect as just pressing buttons on a standard controller, really. Like Twilight Princess would have been just as good with a normal controller, and this actually was a game that showed stinky little 10-year-old me that the Wii just wasn't what I thought it was gonna be. You see, it was always a dream of mine, possibly a dream of yours too, to swing around a controller and have a character on screen swing at the exact same time with the exact same movements as you. Now hug me and hold me close if I'm wrong, but I don't think there are any games that offer this for the Wii. Not for a few years at least anyway, but we'll get to that in a minute. So at the moment it's 2007, and to have something like that would have been a big ask back then. What we had was what we got, and in my eyes it just wasn't good enough, but it was good enough. It was a start, you know. Hell, some games didn't even need the motion controller at all. Super Smash Bros. Brawl is arguably the best Wii game, and it didn't even use the Wii's gimmick. Now obviously back then I didn't know that a game called Skyrim was going to release on VR one day and I'd finally get to swing a sword around and then also throw up because motion sickness made me die. If anyone can hear me, tell me, help! Your old bull hair, is that you? Help. Gotta do this! And that was my first experience swinging around a sword in a game and have the character swing my sword as well with me. Because I didn't know until I was buying stuff for this video that there was actually an accessory called Motion Plus, and it turns out that it was an accessory that you clip onto your Wiimote so that the sensor can mimic your movements. Oh no, that's cool. Oh, that is cool. Yeah, it's so cool to me that years after the initial release, they released an accessory that does, oh, I don't know, the thing the Wii was supposed to do in the first fucking place! I never knew about this being a thing. I wonder if I'm just late to the party, or if that was too late for them. I'm sure it was a fun addition, but there just wasn't enough support for it. It released way too late. Games that were released before it came out couldn't make use of it, and quickly scouring through the short list of games that do make use of it, only a few of them seemed like they would have actually been worth getting, in my eyes at least. There's not actually much I can say on it because I didn't buy it back then and this video isn't about trying new things, so let's move on. 2007 was the summer of the Wii. Now I can't really speak on behalf of other areas in the world, but the small tight-knit community that I grew up in, it seemed like every family had a Wii. So because of a Wii, that summer it was very common to go around to a friend's house where you'll both be speedily swinging your arms around until you're pretty much having an all-out brawl in the living room. And at that point you might as well rename it to the not-so-living room, am I right? The strap wasn't even necessarily a safety measure, as it was more of a choice. Do I save the TV? Or do I save my friends or even my own face? I can't tell you the amount of times where we were playing Wii bowling and the Wii remote gets thrown at the same time as the ball, and without that strap in place, the remote goes flying and your TV now has a Wii remote size shaped hole. With the strap in place, however, that remote swings round, hones in on someone, and now your friend has a Wii remote shaped size hole in their head. Yeah, have fun at the hospital, asshole, while I overtake you on the Wii Sports, bitch. Now this is what parents and the old people media means when they say games cause violence. It's accidental Wii-related violence, and it didn't stop there. I've seen some horrifying videos online of Switch-related violence too. It's no wonder those guys had to leave a platform when they were displaying such senseless violence. So why did the Wii Era, or Wii Era for short, start off so successful? So successful actually that the theme song of that year was I Wanted That Wii by the Backstreet Game Boys. It all started with the Wii's conceptualization. Good old Reggie stated at a conference that the inception of a Wii came about when they wanted to create a console that the whole family can enjoy and fight over, and maybe even break bonds over. The idea was that since movies and TV shows had already hit the mainstream and were a part of everyday culture, as what movie did you watch on the weekend became a new topic of small talk, Nintendo wanted video games to enter that space as well. The Wii got parents to play video games for a grand total of about 2 months, but hey, that's better than nothing. That might not sound too crazy now because a lot of parents are gamers these days. Fucking nerds, get a life. Let me set one thing straight though. Parents aren't gamers because of some cool new console that interested them. No, parents are now gamers because the gamers grew up and started having kids of their own, betraying the very virgin nature of being a gamer. I have no idea what's happening now. I've gone way off track. I'm not jealous. I've actually had lots of sex. I just had lots today. Loads. Now the last thing I want to touch on is the lifespan of the Wii. I personally feel that the Wii deserved a longer lifespan though. Right out the gate it was a raging success and it held its own for a good little while. But it wasn't that long before the popularity started to decline. I wouldn't say this is true for the more hardcore gamers, but for the new ones whose introduction to gaming was through the Wii, the novelty fizzled out fairly quickly. It was like, oh cool, a new toy, look, okay that was interesting, back to TV now. Now this is all just speculation from me, so feel free to prove me wrong. There's a few contributors as to why I personally think that this had happened. The Wii was perhaps seen as a bit of a gimmicky console and one that could be difficult to chill with after a long grueling work day. The family image is all well and good, but without a vast catalogue of more mature and graphic games, you're excluding a large demographic of people who don't want to play dumb little kid games because they don't like to have fun. I feel this is the image that Nintendo still have these days, which is fine. I would argue Mario Odyssey isn't even a kid's game. It's pretty fucking difficult at times, and stupid little kids wouldn't have a brain capacity to figure out how to get all the moons, but that's besides the point. And lastly, I don't think there was much in the way of third-party support when it came to games. And when you have games that are multi-platform, I think people would have rather played them on a PC, PS3, or Xbox 360 because of the graphics. Perhaps the controls as well, but mainly because of the graphics. Because people are obsessed with graphics. And to be honest, I can't really blame you if you look at World at War side by side. The other consoles do just have better graphics. It doesn't help that Sony and Microsoft both tried their hands at making motion tracking devices. They didn't go on to do as well as people thought they would. I don't know why when it comes to Kinect, because you get to dance with Star Wars? Oh yeah, cool. Yoo-hoo. I love the Wii, and I'm glad to say that when I went back to these games, they're all still a lot of fun, which is good to know. Anyway, that's all I want to say.
Anyway, that's about it. See ya.
Yeah, have fun at the hospital, asshole, while I overtake your asshole. Yeah, have fun at the hospital. Yeah, have fun at the asshole.